Hello students, today we start with the Cambridge University Press's book Cambridge Lower Secondary Science. This is the Pakistan edition and it is based on the national curriculum of 2022. That means that all the schools in Pakistan are supposed to teach this. This is Learner Book 6 and let's start. So the first part is the organisms, the characteristics and life processes of living things, the characteristics and life processes of living things. And we are going to discuss the cells, tissues and organs. The cells, tissues and organs. But before that, there is a practice that we'll have to do, that is to draw an outline of a human body, sketch and label each of these organs on the outline, that is brain, heart, stomach and intestine and lungs. There will be certain new words that you will be seeing in this chapter. Let's look at those by one. The key words are going to be ciliated epithelium, ciliated epithelium, ciliated epithelium, lower epidermis, lower epidermis, lower epidermis, lower epidermis, onion epidermis, onion epidermis, organ, organ system, organism, palisade layer, palisade layer, spongy layer, tissue, upper epidermis. So these are going to be the words that you will be studying. Now let's draw. I'll give you just the sketches and you'll have to do it at your own. I'll just give you how to make the sketches and how to draw these things. For example, the brain. First of all, we are going to have a sketch of a human body. Then we will draw the brain, the heart, stomach, intestine and lungs. Let's see how. Say for example, there is a sketch. This is a sketch of a human body, and what is here? This is brain is here, and this will brain look like, right? You will have to make a sketch like this. This is very simple sketch that I have made, and you can make it at your notebooks and do practice this, that how to make the brain. Then yet another, I have made a sketch. In fact, you can draw on one sketch for the purpose of making it more clearer. I have drawn different sketches. For example, this is another sketch, and here we can have heart, and the heart will be placed here, right? And then another sketch I have drawn, and this is the stomach. Here I'll be showing you the stomach. Where is stomach located? Here, and it looks like this, right? Then is another sketch, right? And here we'll be drawing the intestine. Intestine looks like this, and then another sketch, and then lungs, and lungs look like this. Okay, now we will start studying the main context of this chapter, contents of this chapter. First I'll just read it, and then I'll try and explain all these things. The tissues. Living things including animals and plants are called organisms. Living things including animals and plants are called what? Organisms. There are many different kind of cells in an animal or a plant. There are many different kinds of cells in an animal or a plant. Most of them are specialized to carry out a particular activity. That means that in all the organisms there are different kinds of cells, and every cell has to perform a different kind of thing, right? Usually many cells of the same kind are grouped together. Many kinds of cells, same cell, many kinds of usually many cells of the same kind are grouped together, and that means that cells of the same kind, they are grouped together to make what? A group of similar cells which all work together to carry out a particular function is called a tissue. That means a tissue contains many cells which are of the same type. A tissue contains same type of cells, right? The diagram shows a tissue from a plant and a tissue from an animal, right? This is a diagram of a tissue from inside an onion. This is called an onion epidermis. This tissue covers the surface of the layer inside the onion. So this is a tissue of a plant, onion plant, or we can say the tissue of an onion. And what does this depict? This is a diagram of tissue from inside an onion. It's called a onion epidermis. It is called onion epidermis, and this tissue covers the surface of a layer inside the onion, right? And what is the purpose of this tissue? This tissue covers the surface of the layer inside the onion, right? And this is also known as onion epithelium. Onion epithelium. Now we go over to the an animal cell. This is a diagram of a ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium, the tissue that lines the tubes leading down to our lungs. The cilia all wave together like grass in the wind. We'll try to understand what are the meanings of cilia and what type of cells are these, right? These are the questions given here. We'll take all these things one by one, but first of all let me tell you what all are the important things that we have seen in this topic of tissues here. First of all is that living things including animals and plants are called organisms. You must write down in your notebook that this is a very important thing, that living things including animals and plants are called what? They are called organisms. Then is another important thing, a group of similar cells which all work together to carry out a particular function is called a tissue. A group of similar cells which all work together to carry out a particular function is called what? It is called a tissue. Then, and this is the question, what is the function of the ciliated epithelium tissue? The answer is the ciliated epithelium tissue has a very important job in our bodies. Its main function is to move mucus and other substances along surface inside our body. The tiny hair-like structure called cilia beat in a coordinated way, sweeping mucus, dirt, and even bacteria away from places like our lungs and respiratory tract. This helps to keep these areas clean and free from harmful particles that can make us sick. So this is a detailed thing, and you can just write in 2 lines also the answer of what is the function of ciliated epithelium tissue. You can just write these 2 sentences, that ciliated epithelium is a thin tissue that has hair-like structure on it. These hairs called cilia move back and forth to help move particles out of our body. Cilia, you can see this is cilia. In our nose and in our windpipe, these type of cells are formed, and these what do? They help the mucus move up and down, right? And they try to throw the unwanted parts or unwanted things out of our body, right? Now the word tissue has an everyday meaning and a different scientific meaning. Write 2 sentences, one using the word tissue with its everyday meaning and one using the word tissue with its scientific meaning. So as you know that tissue is a very common word. We use it in everyday life also, and there is a scientific meaning of tissue also. So let's have 2 sentences. Just imagine the 2 sentences that we can make. For example, in everyday life we'll say, I used a tissue to blow my nose when I had a cold. And in the scientific meaning, we can say the muscles tissue is made up of cells that contract and relax to allow movement in our bodies. You see, all the muscles which are along the bones of our body, what they do is they are made up of such cells that contract and relax to help us or allow us the movement in our bodies. Okay, I hope you people are understanding. If there's a difficulty, just give me the feedback so that we can improve our lectures. Okay. Okay, now we go over to the organ systems. Organ systems. What are the organ systems? If you try and remember that all you have read in your previous classes, you can easily understand what I'm going to tell you now. The bodies of plants and animals contain many different parts called organs. You've already read it in so many classes that in your fourth and fifth also, that the bodies of the all the living things, they have different organ systems. For example, the bodies of plants and animals, they contain many different parts, and those parts are called what? They are called organs. For example, your organs include your brain, heart, and muscles. Muscle plants. Organs include leaves and roots and flowers, right? For example, in the case of humans, your organs, they include your brain, heart, and the muscles. For the plants, organs include leaves, roots, and the flowers, right? Each organ is made up of several different kinds of tissue working together. For example, your brain contains neurons and also several other kinds of cells. A plant root contains root hair cells and also several other kinds of cells. Now we'll be discussing a bit detail of the root cells, right? Organs also work together. A set of organs that all work together to carry out the same function is called a organ system. So what is it called? It's called an organ system. I just made a little bit of presentation that how the tissues and the final organisms, if tissue concludes to the end result, that is the organ system. For example, you see here we have a organ system organized from cell to the organism. That is, from cell we get tissues, and many cells they make a tissue, and many tissues make an organ, and many organs they make organ systems, and then an organism. For example, there was a cell of a plant and it became tissue, and then it became organ like leaves. Like we just read it here, that leaf is an organ of a plant, and then the organs, once many organs they got together, they became a organ system. And in the complete organ systems, once they get together, they form a what? Organism. In the same way, in the case of living thing, there is a cell, then many cells come together and become a tissue, and many tissues they come and become a organ, like the way this organ of heart has been shown to you, and then the organ system, and then a organism, complete organism, from cell to a organism. Here also from cell to a organism. Okay, going back to your activity, organs and systems in humans. You ask, your task is to find out the names and functions of the different organs that are part of one system in the human body. So what you can do is you can draw a part of human body, and then I'll give you an example also, and then you can do it at your own that you find out any organ system. You can take the help of your net also and the book also, and then you draw organ system and then you make a presentation about that. Choose from the digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, or skeletal systems. These are systems you have read in your previous classes also, right? When you have found this information, decide how to display it. Perhaps you could make a presentation or a large drawing with tables and descriptions, right? Now, here comes the questions. Copy and complete each sentence using the words from the list: organism, tissue, organ, and the organ system. For example, here a group of similar cells is called what? Once many cells come together, what is formed? A tissue is formed, right? And when and dash is a structure made of many different tissues. Many different tissues come together and they form what? They form a organ, right? Next is, and dash is a group of organs that carry out a particular function. What is this? This is a organ system. An organ system is a group of organs that carry out a particular function, right? The way this is the organ system, right? And there's so many organ systems, right? Then, and dash is a living thing that it may contain many different organ systems, organs and tissues. What is an organism? An organism is a living thing and it may contain different organ systems, right? And that is organs and the tissues. So here we come to the end of your first lecture. I hope you have enjoyed it, and just try and be with me. Just listen to me. Don't have to mug up the things. You don't have to remember the things. Just try to understand. If you try to understand, only then you'll be able to retain it in your minds, and you can use it while in your life and in your exams also, right? Okay, thanks.